Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I gotta get my coffee. Hold up a second. I'm gonna talk about the title of the video here in a second. But because usually with these things, most people don't show up until a few minutes in because I never manage to schedule them ahead of time because I never think about it. But I was sitting down and editing today because it's raining and realized that I wasn't able to kind of integrate this particular story into my other videos very well. So I've got like 5 videos on the go right now, and none of them it integrates super well. So I'm just going to talk about it in the live stream and address a few other things that have been going on. First of all, want to really give a huge thank you to patrons Susan, Mo, and sorry, I've screwed this up. Yeah, Ryan, Mo, and Susan, who sent out this. Check this out. You see this? This, like, literally, I cried when I saw this. Straight up. I don't imagine anyone else would fault me for that. This is just so beautiful. It's gonna have a permanent place up here, right behind my head for all the live streams to come. I'm just so happy with this portrait of Champ. Yeah, I really miss that guy. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, and thank you for your letter. It was really sweet, and the little $20 Amazon wish card was nice as well. Yeah, it's just it's really coming down out there. All right. Whoa, okay, those numbers shot up pretty quick. All right, so it looks like we got a lot of people streaming in here. So I'll tell you the story. It's been 2 weeks now since this happened. I was cycling on my way to work on a Tuesday. I had the new bicycle and Honey in the trailer, and I was about a month into doing that. For those of you who don't know, I was a huge cyclist before when I lived in Ottawa. Cycled everywhere. I cycled all year round in the winter time and everything, and I was pretty experienced and pretty committed. And so I've dealt with road rage in the city before. This is not unfamiliar to me. I've had people threaten my life many times for cycling, and I've been hit several times as well. This time I was cycling on my way to work, as I said, had a white, large pickup truck. Ironically, the same kind of pickup truck I had just parked was now 12 inches behind my trailer, like really riding my ass. And I'm on the side of the road, and the guy's like up my ass. And so I wave him to like pass me. And as he's coming up to me, he's now like even closer. He's like bumping into me so close. I had to knock his mirror out of my face because he had one of those great big trailer mirrors that stick out really far. And it is like in front of my face. Like I had to duck to get this thing away from me. And so I smacked it out of the way, and I'm banging on the side of the car like, what the fuck are you doing? I can't hear. He's yelling something at me, but I got headphones in, which was a mistake. I shouldn't have been riding with headphones, I guess. It doesn't matter. He didn't have anything intelligent to say because he then just like hit me. He just like slowly. I'm biking so slow. I'm hauling Honey and like all this on this trailer. I'm not going fast. I'm going uphill. And he just like nudges into me until I fall over. Now, luckily, I didn't fall under his truck, and I didn't fall into the ditch. Instead, I fell into the road behind the truck. And so he pulls up a little bit further. He gets out of the truck with his buddy. They're 2 men in their 60s, white dudes in their 60s. Very standard for the island. The island's average age here is 62, so they're just pretty much anybody, right? And they're just swearing at me. Why the fuck were you in the road? Why the fuck were you, like, why didn't you pull over and get out of my way? Like, screw you. And then I'm like, I'm cycling. What the hell's wrong with you? And the guy says, I should just kick your head in. I'm like, okay, buddy. First of all, I think these guys got a good look at me and realized I'm like twice their size and half their age. So that prospect, even battered and bruised and winded on the ground, the prospect of like kicking my ass or kicking my head in probably wasn't going to happen for them. But maybe they just decided that they didn't want to murder somebody today. They got back in the truck and they went straight to the police station, which I found out later. So I wasn't sure what to do. I'm still kind of in shock about the thing. I'm angry, right? And usually we'd have done things a different way when I was in the city, I was younger and I was dumber. But I instead, I had this fella named, I think his name was Greg or Ryan. I can't remember now. I'm sorry, whoever it was. Good Samaritan showed up. He pulled up maybe 60 seconds after these guys left. And he's like really concerned. He pulls over, helps me out, helps me onto my feet, and like I'm hobbling off at the side of the road. And he's like, you need to call 911. You need to call 911 now. So we do that. Half the island shows up, like first responders. I know most of them. They all show up. The cops show up. Paramedics show up eventually, but it's like the whole fire department is there. It's insane. Anyway, the first responders, the fire department has a look at me as like their kind of first aid thing. Then the paramedics show up. They have a look at me. Then I give a statement to the police telling them exactly what I told you just now. And then after that, we're like, well, you can ride in the ambulance up to the clinic, and then the doc can have a look at you, because I wasn't wearing a helmet because it was still in being shipped out to me, and so it was like, there's a chance I could have a concussion and not know it. They're like, well, okay, let's go look. And I'm pretty bruised up. I can, like, my joints and my arms and my legs really hurt. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to the doc. They look me over, no broken bones, no concussion, so good to go. Some painkillers. I'm walking on my way to work then, because I walked from the clinic. Oh yeah, and Captain Mike showed up too. Captain Mike and like everyone else driving by stopped, just like a shit show. Captain Mike picked up Honey and took her. She was fine. The trailer kind of like, the bike jammed up underneath the trailer and just kind of like held the trailer in place. And the trailer's got a nice like aluminum roll cage around it, so she was fine. It didn't fall over either, so it wasn't a big deal. I get to work and the police call me, and they had these guys show up. They told me they show up, and they just gave them like a little ticket, and basically what was made clear to me was that they were seeing it as my fault for biking on the side of the road and not watching where I was going. The cop literally said, "You should really watch your back." I was like, "Oh, thank you. Is that a threat? Like, what the fuck?" They gave these guys a ticket. And they're like, "Well, we're not taking their side. We gave them a ticket." That was their reasoning. I'm like, okay. So it was like road rage, hit me on purpose, gave me a death threat afterwards, and you guys gave them a ticket. Cool. So it's pretty obvious that whoever these guys are, they knew the cops, and they knew they would get away with it. And they did. And I'm a little freaked out because I don't want to go cycling again, because in a small community, like in the city, I felt anonymous. I felt fine. But like here in the country, these guys are going to drive by me like plenty of times. And they got away with it once. Maybe next time they'll just run my ass over, and they'll probably get away with it again by the looks of things. That doesn't seem to matter. I had a run-in with, well, not a run-in, but I encountered another police officer later that day. And I asked her about it because she asked me, "Aren't you that guy who got run over by a truck?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And she's like, I'm like, "Why did you guys just give him a ticket? Like, what's the story there?" And she's like, "Well, it's really hard to prove that there's anything wrong and that this is that." And I'm like, "Okay, well, there's a guy who rolled up like right after. He saw everything. Like, he saw me afterwards. He didn't see the actual accident happen." He's like, "Well, that doesn't count as a witness." And the other guy had a witness, or I call it an accomplice. And they were like, "Well, like, what if I had a camera? Should I buy a GoPro and just like tie it to my forehead, and every time I go cycling, I should just carry that with me?" And they're like, "Well, no, that doesn't count either." I'm like, "Okay, well, like, should I like? I guess you gotta bike in groups of people. Like, I gotta find a cycling buddy to bike with, unless they also get hit, in which case they also find, am I not a viable witness anymore?" Like, I don't know. Basically, they told me, and so there's 3 police, I think, who work on this island, and I talked to all 3 of them, and all 3 of them basically were like, "Yeah, we're not going to do anything for you." So Yeah, I've done things the other, like I said, I've done things the other way, which was stupid. But apparently, calling the cops is also stupid because nothing happened. And it's not like it is in the States. It's not easy for me to like file a civil lawsuit or whatever. But just, I thought I would do a third thing, which was to talk to you guys about it. And I did an interview with a local newspaper to like basically tell people that this is going on. There is a road rage, angry against cyclists thing, and that's. I mean, I've encountered it everywhere I've gone. It's bad in most cities. It's bad in the country, and even here on this like progressive quote unquote little little hole in the wall. It's bad here apparently too, because all it takes is one driver. All it takes is one person. Like I get passed by 50 or 60 cars on my way to work. If one out of every 50 people is a homicidal maniac, then I'm dead. So those aren't good odds. I don't like those odds. Anyway, that's my story. I'm bruised up. I've still like look, you got a little bit of color in some of my bruises still. It's been 2 weeks. So I'm healing up okay. I feel a lot better. It took me like 3 days to start feeling better. Because man, after the first day, first day it's like all my like limbs are hurting, right? Day two is like my entire core just felt like a crumbling cinder block. It was just felt like shit. So yeah, I spent a day on my ass like watching TV and editing YouTube videos and stuff like that. So anyway, I know a lot of you guys are from the analytics. A lot of you are older gentlemen, same age group as these two who ran me over. I know that most of you see cyclists as human beings, and I've heard every reason why it's okay to like run over cyclists. They're not okay. It's not okay. That's a homicide, despite what the police think. Apparently, these people, like, you might disagree with a cyclist. You might not have much in common with a cyclist as a motorist. That's fine. You don't have to have anything in common with them. Doesn't mean you get to risk their life, or it doesn't mean you get to kill them. That's not how that shit works. It's not Stalin on two wheels, okay? If he does a traffic violation, if he runs a stop sign, then he can get a ticket, and that's how that works. But if you whiz by a bicycle within like a tiny little space and risk their life, like if I rear end another car with my car, everyone's gonna live. If I rear end a cyclist, he gonna die. Like, if he's not dead, he's in a hospital for a long time. Like, it's just different. You got to give them some space. And motorcyclists, it's a similar story. At least they have the power to get away from you if you're a lunatic following them around. And they're not going to get passed by so many, which is like, that's where a lot of the stuff happens, is when people are passing me. But yeah, it's like, I'm a vehicle on the road. You just got to pull over. You got to cross over that line a little bit. You got to pass me. Give me some space. I just want to live through my day. I'm not enjoying. Nobody likes like cranking up a hill by their own bicycle power. Okay, no one's having a great time like hauling honey in a trailer. Like, ugh, it's not fun for me. At least you get to sit in a nice, comfortable chair and just put your foot on a pedal. I don't know. Just look. I know it's not you. I know most of you aren't. Hating cyclists and wanting us dead. I've driven lots of miles as a motorist. I've driven lots of miles as a motorcyclist. You guys have seen them. It's all in my YouTube videos. And I've been a cyclist for a long time too. I've been on all sides of this platform. Cyclists are the most vulnerable. That's all I can say. We're the most vulnerable. Traffic violations, pretty much unanimous across the board. Motorcycle, bicycle, and car. A bad driver's a bad driver, right? It's across the whole spectrum. But yeah, none of those people deserve to die for a traffic violation. So just keep that in mind. We all just want to get through the day alive. And then, and then a ticket is fine, right? But just don't fucking kill me. All right. Enough about that. I'm going to start feeding back on some comments here, probably loads of them. I feel like I've addressed most of the stuff I've heard in comments before about this whole stuff. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, there's um. Oh man, stuff gets me so riled up. I should just like calm down. Yeah. So the dog. To reiterate, the dog is fine. Not a bruise on her. She's totally fine. Actually, somebody said here that I need to get a sponsor for a helmet dash cam. I've had many sponsors offer to send out dash cams and stuff. It's one of those like cheap Chinese products that gets pushed out to YouTubers a lot. I've always turned them down because they always look kind of trashy, and I don't really want a dash cam. So, BK Boiler says if I was a better vlogger, I would have video evidence. I have photo evidence because when they stopped to threaten me, I like as they were leaving, because at first I was scared they're gonna like actually attack me. But then as they turned around, I like remembered that I have a cell phone in my pocket, so I whipped out my cell phone and got pictures of their license plate because I saw they were doing a hit and run. And they're just yeah, like it's didn't matter because they just went to the police station anyway, so no biggie. Oh, there we go. See, someone's replying. I've never seen Simon as one of those camera in hand all the time vloggers. Yeah, I'm not really. I used to film a lot more when I was traveling in the van. It's hard to do so much when you're not traveling. There's a lot of like day-to-day stuff I just have to do. Yeah, North America has the absolute worst attitude towards cyclists. That may be true. I've never cycled in other countries other than, you know, Canada and the United States. Um, I will say that the level of road aggression I've seen in American cities is incredibly high. And like Florida, Texas, and California, and like just Las Vegas in general, were like the scariest places I've ever been as a motorist. Um, but, you know, Toronto was pretty close to that too. And like Montreal, pretty like they're up there. The difference is nominal, I would imagine. Uh, You cycle. BK Boiler says he's never experienced any aggression. Well, that's good for you, man. I really hope you never do. It's not fun. Yeah, so in the UK, they would have been charged with driving without due care or attention. It was something similar to that, but it was like the weakest possible version of that. I looked it up, the thing they actually got charged with, and it was like just this tiny little couple $100 fine, and you know, it's a really small. Like I've had parking tickets that were in the same ballpark. Um, yeah. So, oh, the bicycle. Some people are asking about what the situation is with the bicycle. The bicycle is, well, it's damaged. But it's not like permanently damaged. So I have to clock a little bit of time. I should do that today since it's raining, to wheel it into the shop and just. Okay, sorry about that. I'm having connection issues. Okay, I think I've got through the comments. It seems like a few of you have lost family members to stuff like this, and I'm really sorry. I really don't want to be in the same ballpark. I would love to not die. And I don't know, like the difference from the cyclist point of view, the difference between homicidal intent and just negligence is like nominal. You know, we don't, if you nudge us, we go down particularly hard, you know, and we happen to not be like an able-bodied young person, and we're a bit older, and yeah, that could kill somebody easy. So the fact that like yeah, like what would be just like a little fender bender or a little scuff in a car is you know, death on a bicycle. So oh yeah. Anyway, that's I've at least when I did things the dangerous, violent, scary way as a young person, there's a little bit of catharsis in that, which doesn't exist when you call the cops and they tell you that their buddies and they're just not going to do anything. Yeah, real bummer. I don't know. And just, that's the main thing I'm dealing with right now is just like the fallout of just being angry. Like I'm fucking angry, and I don't want to be. I want to be calm. I'm relaxed. I want to go back to cycling. I'm scared to get on my bike. And yeah, I'm just so I don't know who these people are who hit me. I do have a picture of their truck and their license plates. I did not post. Well, I posted the picture of the truck, but not. I like blurred out the license plate on my Instagram. But there are people here on the island that have the full picture. So if I do die, not that I think it's likely, but if I do die, at least there'll be a paper trail, and I hope to God that it doesn't happen. But it scares me. It just scares me. Yeah. Oh, the Tavish Dozer says he stopped bicycling because people rev when they pass by. Yeah, I get a lot of that. My favorite is the tiny dick dude with the big diesel truck who has to roll coal as he passes you. Speaking as somebody who's had a big diesel truck, you having piss poor injectors that make your diesel truck just spew black smoke out the back onto people means that not only do you have a tiny penis and you are a bad driver, but you also are a bad mechanic. You know, you can't balance your fuel to air ratio properly. That's just pathetic. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm like I said, I've been on both sides of this. Well, not both sides of this. I mean, I haven't hit anybody with a fucking car. But yeah. So there's a few things I'd like to do. One is I'd like to get the electric assist, as Madman's dream here is telling me. Yeah, I'm hoping to save up a little bit of money. Maybe with the sale of the boat will be one of the side things that I'll purchase with that money I'm looking for a folding, fat, electric bicycle. Something that can collapse down so I can put it in one of the storage lockers easily, but is got like a 500 watt motor, be nice. Because that would give me enough torque to haul the trailer comfortably, as opposed to what I'm doing right now, where I can barely go over 10 kilometers an hour. So yeah, and another thing I'd like to do is get GoPro in general, just because it's handy for my YouTube channel and other stuff. But I think I would probably also wear one because if something like this happens again and the cops are still unwilling to do something, I'm going to definitely go over their heads and see what I can do off island. Seems to me that there's a bit of a corruption issue here on the island when it comes to the cops, but in my experience, that's not uncommon in a lot of places. So, yeah. Yeah. And and also for recording on the boat, another thing. Yeah, I do have one camera. I'm meaning I should do that. Yeah, I should do that soon. But I have like basically security cameras on the boat, 2 of them, and I'm gonna set them up not only for security reasons, but also just so that people who sign up to Patreon, who support me on Patreon, can actually get a 24-hour stream of what's going on the boat, which is kind of fun. You know, it was fun before. I set it up on a piling facing the boat, and I'm trying to figure out another way of doing something similar. I'm trying to respect a little bit of my privacy because I do like to walk around my boat in the nude sometimes, and I'd like for that not to be on the internet. But otherwise, you know, it's just a matter of like, okay, deciding like how to respect my privacy and how to respect the privacy of the people around me, because there's lots of people come out to their boats, and I don't want I don't want other people to have their privacy, you know, revoked based on my live streaming. So I'm just setting that up in specific ways so you can see the boat, but we all get a little bit of privacy out of it too. Jim Martin says he's a fellow Gabriolan. Roads here suck. If you experienced as many times over the years, experienced a similar thing. I often hesitate to jump on a bike here because of that. Jim, I'm curious to, have you lived, because a lot of Gabrielans grew up somewhere else. Have you tried, because in my experience, the roads here are fine. The quality of the roads are better than they are out east. The whole West Coast just has better roads than anywhere east of the Rockies, in my personal opinion. Um, they're not even that narrow, really. Maybe I've gotten used to them. I don't know. But yeah, it would be nice. It would be really nice to have proper bike lanes here on the island, because there are a lot of cyclists on this island. So it does seem okay. Yeah, but yeah, that's I just I was really surprised to encounter this here on Gabriola. I always thought of Gabriola as a much more progressive place with, less of that small town bullshit that I grew up around. I grew up in small town Hicksville, and where there are people literally married to their cousins. So yes, I've had lots of cyclist hate thrown at me, as you could imagine, and I just didn't expect it here on this island. It was a bit of a shock. Tavish is asking me if I'm going to go. God, I could get off this topic for a bit. But so yeah, let's talk. Let's talk about this. Starlink. Yes, I am getting Starlink. I have already signed up for it. It is pricey compared to what Americans pay for their internet, but compared to what we pay up here in Ontario or in Canada, I should say, it is right on point. It's like literally cheaper because there's no data cap. It's actually cheaper than most people's household internet. So I was like in the nation's capital, and my internet was more expensive than Starlink and slower. So very, very excited to get Starlink here on the boat. So that'd be cool. Sondors has a folding. I haven't seen Sondors folding bike yet. Okay, so wow, I got a lot of comments to catch up on. Being a biker, my opinion on drivers is to treat them like drunk drivers. It's true. As a motorcyclist, I definitely treat every cager as a drunk driver, just in case they are. As a bicyclist, you don't have that. As a cyclist, you don't have that luxury because you can't go anywhere. You're not moving fast enough to do anything. So you are, yeah. So I'm not gonna publicly reveal their license plate number, but I have privately revealed it to a bunch of my friends who are in the community, keeping their eye out. It's disseminating, I suppose, through the grapevine in that way. But I'm not a fan of getting my social media involved in it, so I'm not going that way. Yeah, they can drive on and off road without wiping out. Yeah, so BK Boiler again is talking about the fat wheel tire bikes. I'm excited about that in part because there's a lot of great trails on this island, and you can get everywhere by trail, and that might be my way around this particular predicament. If I had a bicycle that was capable of riding some trail, some street, and I can putz around on the trails, maybe I won't be able to do it with the trailer, but at least I'll be able to, get to where I'm going without, if I don't feel like putting myself at the mercy of motorists, then I don't have to. Mara wants to know when you can expect the next episode. I have got 5 episodes. I've got, I'll tell you what they are. I've got an episode where I do the cushions for the new sailboat and restitch a bunch of stuff and get into sewing. I've got an episode where I build an electric outboard. And that one's going to take a little bit longer. I've got an episode taking out the engine. It is in the, or was, I should say, in the engine room, taking the diesel engine in and turning that into a cool. And what else have I got? I've got an episode making all new doors and hatches for the boat. And there's another one I can't remember. Most of them are, I think 3 of them are like 80% done. So a couple more days of shooting and I should be able to finish at least 2 of them. So I want to get at least 1 more out this week and then have another 2 in the docket ready to go as soon as next month or whatever, before the month really gets going. For those asking for recap on the whole story, you'll just have to watch when it gets archived. But basically, yes, I'm fine. Road rage and not great. Didn't have fun. Cops didn't do anything. Dakota Nation's here. Oh my God, Wave 3 here. I'm sorry to hear that, Vincent, man. Yeah, COVID's been really bad here in Canada this last little while. For those of you who don't know, it's not super great. I got my vaccine appointment, which I'm very happy for. This island counts as a remote community, so I'm probably one of the last people who is eligible here on the island, unfortunately, because my coworkers who all work at the food bank have all gotten their vaccine, which is nice. But mine's a bit delayed because I don't have the right paperwork, which I'm still working on sorting out because I moved from Ontario to here. There's just a bit of confusion and all that. So I needed to a special health card number or health number. I now have that, and I now have my vaccine coming up. Not tomorrow, but next Monday. So I'm very excited to be vaccinated and to get my life back to normal and have some of you guys out on the boat again, and get back to the fun stuff, not just building all the time. Okay, so that is I think I've gotten through all the comments, hopefully. I hope that y'all are having a good day, and I hope that if you take anything from this live stream is that no matter how bad a driver is out there, or a cyclist, or whoever they are, as long as they're not purposely homicidal, they're still people, and our legal system is not designed for just pure homicidal vigilante justice or whatever you've seen. So don't kill cyclists, okay? Don't run over anybody. Don't be a dick. We're all just human beings trying to get somewhere, and yeah, if we can just get there in one piece, well, I'll be a lot happier for it. So, oh yeah. Oh, Hal Palma, Hail Pahana. Yeah, I remember getting your message a while back. Jack, did you leave your impression in the truck? They didn't hit me that hard, man. They just nudged me until I fell off the bike, and I'm fine. Whatever. I'm just angry. Yeah. So as for people who are local sailing around, I've had my first visit just recently from somebody, but I can't really do visits proper. So I just had to sit in their dinghy. Well, more than 6 feet away from me. It wasn't a lot of fun for a hangout, but if you sail by the bay, you could at least say hi. But yeah, once the vaccines are in, and I think for person who's really coming out, the people who are coming out, I'm making sure that y'all are vaccinated. I don't want to put you at risk. I don't want to be at risk. And I also my island is 62 years old is the average age. So I don't like to fuck around with that. There are a lot of people here I care about, and this disease, if it really had an outbreak on this island, would kill a lot of people, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm being careful. But yeah, so I look forward to hosting you guys out on the boat again once I'm vaccinated and start to get back to normal. And I'm so excited. And of course, lockdown restrictions are lifted. That's another problem, because there's still other communities that aren't getting their vaccines yet, and it's damn it, the internet cut out. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I can tell the yachties are waking up. They're using all my bandwidth. All right. I think that is it for me. Yeah. I think I've caught up on all comments. So thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, I really appreciate the well wishes, and I hope you all are staying safe out there. And Jack, come on, man, just get the vaccine. I live on this island. Trust me, I hear a lot of anti-vax rhetoric on this island, and it worries me a lot. I care about everybody. I do, and I just want to make sure that you're safe and okay. And of course, your sovereign citizen gets to make their own choices, but just please be safe. Okay, take care, everybody, and yeah.
Talk to y'all later.